Hey, what's up, YouTubers? This is Black Miss with my labor and delivery video. On June 20th, I went in for an induction. I was told to be there at 7:30 in the morning. The nurses checked me in and got me all set up with IV, and they drew my blood to get my blood type and everything. And they said they'll start the Pitocin as soon as my doctor arrives. My doctor got there around 8:15ish. She started me on a Pitocin, and I must have been on a Pitocin a couple hours, and I still hadn't felt any like big time cramps. And I was already 2 centimeters dilated prior to arrival. So 8:30 we started the Pitocin. About 10:30ish, quarter to 11, my doctor broke my water. Then I immediately went to the four. They watched my contractions. They were coming about every 5 minutes or so. And then I asked the nurse, should I have the epidural now, or because I wasn't in great pain, but then again, I didn't want to get tied up, and I didn't want to wait too late and the anesthesiologist be tied up with someone else, because even though someone's there for an induction, doesn't mean that they can't possibly have a C-section, and then you have to wait till he comes out, and I didn't want to be suffering all that time. So this is now about almost 11, about 12 o'clock. The anesthesiologist came in, gave me the epidural. By then they had transferred me from the triage area to the actual labor room because I was halfway there. I was also 100% effaced. I'm sorry, I'm like backtracking, but she broke my water bag, and it was just a warm feeling gushing. And then they wrapped the chucks up really fast, and I was dry. I had a little bit of leakage. Okay, now back to the epidural. He came in, gave me the epidural. It was so funny because I'm sitting on a bed like this with my head on the nurse's shoulder, and my bag of waters just started leaking again, and I mean big time leaking. The nurse's pants was soaked. She had to change her socks. She had water all over her legs. I started peeing too at the same time. She was like, "Don't worry about it." But at the same time, I didn't want to move because I have a needle in my back. So I'm like this, oh God, watch out. I'm trying to hold my foot back because now it's draining off my foot, running onto her more. And I'm trying to hold my foot back and also keep still so he could put the epidural in. So that was that. He put that in. I laid there for about an hour. So now it's like 1 something. And I'm feeling contractions, still a little bit heavier, but it's something that resolves itself within a minute or so. So I was able to handle it. And they kept telling me to shift because you don't want the epidural to settle on one side. And so around 2 o'clock, I asked the nurse, am I supposed to be still feeling it? Because I just felt like a stabbing pain, which was the cramping. But I had the epidural, so I didn't understand why I was still feeling it. So she called him back in. He came in around 30 minutes later or so, and gave me some type of boost. He had like a key to open up the machine and gave me like another boost of epidural, and that like took everything away. I didn't feel anything after that. So around 2:30, my family started coming in. My mom came. My mom, my sister, my cousin, and my best friend, and also another family member. My partner had went to go get something to eat at the mall, and because I was able to handle the pain prior, so I told him just go ahead. So now I have my epidural, so they're sitting there, we're talking, and They're saying, oh, I can't believe you're having a baby, this and that and the third. So the hours are rolling by. The nurses have come back to check me, and they're like, oh, you're because after the epidural I was 5, so after like 2 more hours, I was 7. Um, and once I was 7, they said to call, your partner and tell him to come on. So I told him to come back on the mall. He came back around 30 minutes later, maybe sooner. Um, so now, um, one of my family members had actually left. So now it's just my mom, my best friend in the room, my sister, my cousin, and my man. And I was at an 8. Um, the nurses told me, okay, put this oxygen mask on because the contractions are the heartbeat is going down. My baby's heartbeat every time you have a contraction. So I put that down, and it scared me because I'm like, oh no, if it keeps dropping, I'm gonna have to get a C-section. So I'm like this, taking in deep breaths, trying to get in all that oxygen for her. And around 4:30 ish, they said, okay, let me just see if the monitor is just not picking up the baby's heartbeat well, because they had me shifting in the meantime to see if she liked one side better. So they gave me this, they put this type of monitor on her head, I believe, and it reads her blood pressure, her heartbeat level, and she was absolutely perfect, fine. It was just that the contraction reader that they actually put on your stomach wasn't picking up the contractions. And then when they checked me, they said, okay, you're at a 9. You're almost ready to push. So around 5:15, all the nurses are coming in. And she told me, let's do a practice push. So they like break the bed down and everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is so surreal. It's really happening for me. I'm about to be a mom. So they're taking the thing off the bed. I'm looking at my man like, oh, I didn't say anything, but I'm just like, oh gosh, this is just all new. It's happening. I've been watching other people on videos, seeing it happen for them, but now it's my turn. And I did a practice push. She said, okay, let's get the doctor in um, to check you, because apparently there was like a little bit of cervix still left and she wanted to push it up. So she said, let's see if the doctor could get it. Because that was in the way basically of holding me back from pushing. But the doctor came in. She moved that little piece of cervix that was left. And she said, are you ready to push? I said, yeah, I'm ready. So the doctor starts putting on her dressing and everything. And all of a sudden, it was time to push. My best friend is in the room. She asked me, the doctor asked me if I wanted them to stay. I said, I don't care. It depends on what you wanted. And I know in my birth plan, I said I just wanted to be my mom, my man, and that was it. But when it came down to it, I was like, freak it. It's all women. They've seen a JJ before. And I also wanted one of my family members who was young and pregnant to see, because maybe this will deter her from being a mom so early and not being able to support this child. Not that I'm like a big big on like abortions and stuff like that, but if you don't have the means to take care of your kids, you have to do whatever you have to do. So now it's time to push. My girlfriend, she's saying, yay, come on, Rosa, you can do it. And she's videotaping and pretending she's taking a picture, because you're not supposed to video. And I pushed once, and they're like, my doctor's like, whoa, you're doing it. And I pushed again, and then I pushed for the 3rd time, and my baby was out. And they go, oh, she's a little peanut. And they put her on my chest, and immediately I started crying. It was like an overwhelming feeling of disbelief, happiness, all tied into one, and I just looked at her and I couldn't believe it. Because this is something that I had wanted for a long, long time, and she's finally here. And this is Miss Alana, my little peanut, and she's 5 days old, and she's a good little baby. All she does is sleep, eat, and poop. Oh, open your eyes. She's sleepy. But anyway, this is her, my little peanut. She was born at 5:37 p.m. on June 20th, a few days after my birthday. My birthday was on the 17th, and she weighs 6 pounds, 2 ounces. And this is the greatest gift that I could ever ask for. And we'll see you guys at my 1 week postpartum video. You guys take care, be safe, and thanks for following me on my weight loss journey, and now my pregnancy journey, and now my motherhood journey, and also weight loss. And I only have on a bra and underwear because this little girl won't let me get dressed. She always wants the boobs. I want to give you guys a shot. First of all, if you guys remember from me doing the weight loss thing, my boobs were like, now these things look like I got implants in. This is my stomach at 5 days postpartum, and I'm good money. Like I don't think I'm gonna have like the hanging flag, so I'm gonna be doing the weight loss journey as well as soon as the doctor clears me. So I think my stomach looks pretty well to have just given birth. So I'll see you guys soon.